Yes. So what we discussed in the previous class, what is applications, life with Docker, life without Docker, life with Docker, Docker architecture. We already discussed containerization. So right. So we discussed about the containerization. Yeah. So what we will discuss today. Yeah. So this already. So we already know the containerization and the conclusion. So what is the conclusion, guys? So as of now, you already saw that one, right? Life with Docker, life without Docker. What is the conclusion? Conclusion for this Docker. So finally, guys, what is a Docker? Docker is a containerization software. Now you understood, right, guys? So Docker is a containerization software. So Docker will take care of the application and the application dependencies for the execution, right? Docker will take care of application and application dependencies for execution, right? Docker will take care of application and application dependencies for the execution. And so deploy application deployments into multiple environments. Multiple environments will become easy if we use the Docker container concept, right? So application deployments are into multiple environments. If we create the Docker container, right, we can deploy it on the multiple environments. It will become easy if we use Docker container. Right, guys. So Docker container concept. So understood? Yeah. So how to how to the setup, how to set up the environment setup, how to install the Docker, something like a so how to install the Docker everything. So what we need, guys. So so you already know the AWS, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So launching EC2 instance. So in AWS. So you already know the launching EC2 instance. The second one is so something like how to connect that connect to EC2 using putty or else something like so this is on AWS cloud. Okay. So on premise. So on premise. So on premise also. So we can something like I have a VM virtual machine with CentOS 9. Oh, so that was not there. Okay. So we already know, right? So if you install the on-premise environment or something like a cloud environment, we can install the VM. Okay. So the next one is environment setup. How to set up the environment? Environment setup. How to set up the environment, guys? Something like a create account. AWS cloud. You already know this one. The second one is something like a create Linux mission. Create a Linux mission using AWS EC2 service. Something like a image AMI. The image you can take like a Amazon Linux, guys. Amazon Linux 2. Okay. So the third one is connect connect to Linux mission using putty or something like a mobile extreme, right? We can put the mobile extreme and so what we need, guys? Install Docker software in Linux VM using below commands. Okay, so what you need, guys? So for example, what is this? This is our AWS cloud, right? What this is, guys? This is a AWS cloud. So what you need to launch a instance. So this instance with the Amazon Linux. Amazon Linux too. So what we need, guys, we need to install the Docker software. So how you can install the Docker, for example, yum install Docker. So -y. So it will automatically install the Docker service, and you need to run the Docker service systemctl start Docker. Okay. So if you want to, so create the Docker image by using Docker file or something like if you want to pull the Docker image or if you want to run the Docker image as a container. Definitely we need a, so we need to run the, so if the Docker container, the container daemon is running, then only we can do all these three, guys. So then only, so we can, if you want to run a container on our, so Amazon EC2 instance, definitely we need to, so the Docker is daemon is running, then only we can run the containers. Otherwise, so the containers will not run, guys. Is understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you understood the create AWS account and so create a Linux mission using AWS. So you already know that one, right? Just log into that instance. So this is the one, right? Yeah, I'm logging to the server. I logged in as a root user, guys. I'm giving the MFA. So the MFA is 593,067. 067. Yeah, maybe this Docker server is running. So I'm stopping this server. Stop. Sorry. Stop the service. Yep, stop the service. Okay, it is stopping, right? Launch a new instance. I'm launching an instance like Docker, Docker server 2. So with the image, Amazon Linux 2, I'm taking that image as Amazon Linux 2. Okay. Yeah, then instance to micro. All I am using this so free tier eligible because of it will not take the, it will not take the charges. Key pair I'm using batch 54 is I have. So select the topic, security group and everything. Okay. Okay. Launch instance. Yeah, successfully launched the instance, guys. So this is the instance. Okay, initializing. Select this instance and connect through public IP. So where is this? This is the public DNS, guys. I'm connecting to this public DNS. So new session. So this is a footy, guys. I'm using footy. So something like a connection, not appearance, change, bold, 18. Okay. So then session. So you can provide the host name or IP address, guys. This is the host name. And so what is that? How you can connect this server? You can connect this server through server to public key. Okay, public and private key. So then accept. So what is the user for Amazon Linux, guys? So the default user is EC2-user. What is the default user, guys? Default user is EC2-user. Okay. So cat/etc red hat OS-release. Guys, so this is the Amazon Linux 2 and Amazon Linux 2 is installed. Okay. Now you're able to connect the. So create an account. So I have already account. So create a Linux machine using EC2 service. Yes, I can. I launched the EC2 instance, then connect to the machine via putty or mobile exchange. Yeah, I connected to the server. Okay. So then install Docker in Linux using the below commands. So what is the command? So guys, so sudo yum update -y. Just you can execute the sudo yum update -y. No package marked as updated. It's up to date. So next sudo yum install docker. Just what is this, guys? The service package name is docker. What is the package name, guys? The package name is docker. Yeah, once you install the docker, I already told you, right? You need to start the service. So what is this yum install docker? Then you can start the docker service by using the systemctl start docker. Okay. Yeah. So that docker is installed. How you can check it? rpm-qa. How you can check it? rpm-qa. rpm-qa docker. Okay. Yeah. Docker is installed. So let's check if the service is running or not. Systemctl status docker. Yeah. Service is not running. Right. So if you want to run as a container, if you want to pull the docker image creation, everything we need, the docker need to running, the docker service need to run. Okay. Systemctl start docker. What is that? Systemctl status docker service for details. Start docker.
Sudo, you can use the sudo.
Yeah. Yes. Good. Sudo systemctl start docker. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's running. Docker is running now. Understood, right? Yeah. So you can add EC2 user to the Docker group by executing the below command. So we need to add the yeah. So here something like install Docker in Amazon Linux. Amazon Linux. Okay. So what is that, guys? First sudo yum update -y. This one. So is there any security patches need to update? It will update. Sudo yum install docker -y. Sudo systemctl status docker sudo systemctl start docker. Okay, so this is, and the next one is add ec2 user. to Docker group by executing below command. Okay. So what is that? Let's sudo usermod -ag docker ec2 user. Okay. So then restart the session. Okay. So how you can restart it, guys? You can restart it by using exit command. Okay. So what is that? Sudo usermod -ag docker ec2 user. Okay. So then before that only I can exit. Yeah. What is that? EC2 icon user. So next Docker. Oh, you see, guys. So Docker is running. Docker is running. So Docker info. Okay. Yeah. So what are the, now you understood the, it's a very easy to install the Docker, guys. Guys understood? Om, Rudra.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yes, right? Very good. Next, so what is that? Something like a, so I need to check the Docker info. So which version is installed, something like, and so right.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the Docker and
Mm.
virtualization? Can I use the Docker container in at the server end, like as a VM, same as a VM?
So you joined today now,
Yes, sir.
Rudra.
Yes, yes, sir.
So yep. No worries. So there is a physical. So then a big winner with the thought into concept virtualization. So then container. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we already discussed. You did not watch the demo, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, no worries. So this is nothing but a physical server.
Server
So this is nothing but a,
virtualization.
yeah. So virtualization is nothing but a containerization. So what is physical? So we
It's
can
great.
install the, how you can interact with the hardware.
Yes, with like uh, install any operating system like
Yes,
bare
yes,
metal.
yes, very good.
It's like AXI or
CentOS
yeah.
9 is installed or Amazon Linux. So what is the
Yes.
virtualization? Why
Virtualization is
virtualization came into the picture?
actually virtualization is came into picture for because of the
Mm,
whatever the hardware I am using, that
mm,
hardware you see resources not fully
mm,
utilized. So
yes, very good.
with the help of virtualization, we can
Mm,
utilize that resources fully.
yes, very good. So, mm, so this is Linux and this is the VMware. VMware is the bare metal software, right? The combining of the software is nothing but, so we can, so for example, dev environment or QA environment, we don't need that much amount of the physical servers, right? Because of
Right.
the less people are using and we don't need that much amount of the resources. So then a virtualization come into the picture. If you install the virtualization, so it will be available, freely available the resources. Based on the resources, you can install the number of VMs. Okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So in the virtualization, so in the virtualization installing, so what it here? So installing multiple guest operating systems, right? Because of
Right.
so for the virtualization, we need to install the OS, and so for the these are the guest operating system for the every environment, right?
Right. Right.
So installing multiple guest operating systems in one host operating system. So hypervisor software will be used to achieve this, right?
Right.
So we need to install all the required softwares in guest operating system to run our application. So for
Application.
example, here, so we have a QA, dev, and pre-prod, right?
Right.
So we need to install all the required softwares in the guest operating system to run our application. It is old technique to run the application. System performance will be slow in this process because of the hardware, whatever the hardware we are using, it will use it for the VM virtualization software as well as guest operating system also, right?
Right.
So system performance will become slow in this process. To overcome the problems of virtualization, we are going to, so we are going for the containerization concept.
Sir,
Okay.
but sir, on premises, if I'm going with the on premises data centers, so
Hmm.
mostly KVM or VMware or
Hmm.
hypervisor, Hyper 2V, this software they
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
using, and
Hmm.
that time the performance is not slow.
Hmm.
Then it's not
Yeah.
like.
So there are multiple reasons. There are
Hmm,
multiple reasons. I will show you.
hmm,
Yeah, good question, Rudra. One second, I will show you the PPT. You will understand. Okay.
okay.
So there are many reasons. There are many reasons. Not only that one reason. Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm working at the on-premises data center, right? So
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
using KVM and VMware. I'm
Hmm.
on the top of I'm installing the EXI. On the top of
Hmm.
EXI, I'm
Hmm.
using the Windows server and the Linux servers also, and the performance
Hmm.
also good. Okay,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
if I'm going with the Docker, the what is the
Hmm.
benefit? Uh,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Extra benefit
Yes.
they are providing with the help on instead of VMware.
So you see issue with the something like so yeah. So if you see the advantages, so some multiple OS in the same mission, easy to maintenance and recovery, lower total cost of ownership. Okay,
Right,
this is the advantage. So disadvantage is multiple VMs lead to unstable the performance. Hypervisors are not as efficient as a host OS. So long boot up process. This is one disadvantage. So
okay.
other disadvantage is something like so what is the advantage of the container? Container as an same OS are a lighter and smaller. So better resource utilization compared to VS, short booting up process. Okay. So compared to the VM and Docker, it's a size of big. So the Docker size is something like a small. The
Mhm.
startup is something like a tortoise. It is a leopard or cheetah. Something like the integration is very easy. Okay.
Right,
I will tell you. So what is a Docker? Docker is a platform of packaging, deploying, and running application. Okay. Docker
right.
enables, I will tell you this way you will understand. Okay. So here, so how many environments we have?
Mm, It's
Dev
five.
environment, sit environment, UAT, pilot, prod environment, right?
Right,
So for this purpose, everywhere you need to install the operating system to connect the hardware. Okay.
right,
Either it is a physical server or virtual server.
right,
Yeah, we need to install the, for example, if it is a Tomcat application, we need to install the Java and the Tomcat or a Spring Boot, or else the MySQL. Okay, so in all the environments, the same version, the libraries is nothing, the SDKs or softwares are same version. So if we deploy the application, something like in the all the environments, it will be working fine. So for example, in the dev environment, so the Java is 11, in the UAT environment Java is 13, and the production environment Java is 1.6. So when developer develop that code and deploy it in the dev environment, it is working fine. Okay,
okay, okay.
it is working fine. So whenever there is trying to deploy it on the UAT and the production, so the application will fails because of the there is a Java different version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so if we use the a virtualization or a physical, definitely we need to install the Linux and Java, Tomcat, MySQL on every environment. we need to purchase the license for every environment, right?
Right.
Right. So if something, if the application, something like how we are migrating our application versions, you already know, right? Initially
Right.
dev environment, then
Right.
QA environment, then production, then finally production. But the version will be changed in the different environments, and so something like the Java 11, it work 13 also working, right? That code is working on the dev environment and the UAT environment. So while deploying in the production environment, the code is not working. The application is not working because of the version mismatch.
Right.
Okay. So this is another disadvantage. Dev environment will be used by the developer to perform the integration testing. Yeah. So to deploy application to the many environments, we need to take all the softwares required to run our application in all the environments. It is very difficult task, right? So for
Right.
example, so in our environment, dev environment using CentOS, QA environment using Amazon Linux, and production environment using Ubuntu environment.
Mhm. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So right, but the application is supported for the Amazon and CentOS. The application is not supported for the Ubuntu.
Okay.
So there might be a chance of failure. So when the containerization solution came, what is containerization? So a container contains
Content. mm,
OS,
OS system application.
softwares,
Right.
as well as application.
Application and their dependencies.
Yeah, dependency is nothing but a softwares.
Yeah, dependency library there.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
the container. So
Okay.
with respect to of, so if you are using Amazon Linux or CentOS Linux,
Mm-hmm.
Ubuntu Linux,
Mm-hmm.
right? No need to worry about, just Docker service is running on any flavor of the Linux, your container will be running. So no
Okay.
need to use the licenses and no need to install the softwares on each and every environment. So no need to maintain the that environments. We just either virtual machine or a physical machine, we run the container. So you just run the Docker container, Docker service. So everything in the container, everything contains a software, OS, software and application. Understood?
Right, sir.
Now you understood the?
Yes, yes.
So if you see here, yeah. So for example, this is your Docker file. So in this Docker file, you have a CentOS, you took that one, then you install the Java and you download the Tomcat, right? So Tomcat no need to install, no need to install, right? So OPT Tomcat, then so download that lab 6.var and copy it under the web apps folder. Then so while running the container, you can run the Tomcat, right? So you see,
Right.
so your application OS and the dependencies, everything will be in the one container. It will be easy to run on anywhere. It will be easy
Uh,
to run on anywhere. Understood?
yes. Can I say it's like same as images, like same
Yes,
Amazon
yes, yes,
Linux
yes,
to
yes, yes,
images
yes,
or
yes. AMI. You are saying that AMI. Or in the
yes,
VMware, you call it as a template,
template. Yes.
right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, template.
But
Very
sir,
good. It looks like a
but
template. But
yes.
the template contains, so for example, if it is a VM, right, you took 20 GB of a RAM,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, sorry, 2
Right.
GB of a RAM, one
Mm-hmm.
CPU, and 20 GB RAM. So your template
Mm-hmm.
should contain 20 GB of a RAM, one CPU, and 20 GB. But a
Mm-hmm.
container, so will be within 1 GB.
So can I extend it?
Can I?
Extend it this 1 GB RAM?
Yeah, yeah, you can extend. Whatever
Because
the dependencies application, based on that application code,
mm-hmm.
softwares and OS, it will change it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So and I have a question here.
Mm.
So for example, if you are using Facebook application or any gaming application, so the people log in, log out, they need to write the logs. Where
Right.
we can write the logs. For example, here 20 GB, so we can able to log the logs here, right? So for
Right.
example, daily 2 GB. So we can
Mm-hmm.
tar this and copy it to somewhere. So we can write the lags here. But in the 1 GB in the container, so do you need to write the logs?
No.
No, right?
Right.
So what we can do? Docker volumes.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think the question, the interviewer asking me the question, what is the
Mm,
difference between the virtualization and container? And can I
mm,
use as like a virtualization like VMware or KVM softwares in the production
mm,
environment?
yes.
So with the help of Docker Compose, we can use it,
Mm.
right?
Docker
As a,
compose.
yeah. If suppose I need to store my data for the
Mm,
applications, right?
mm,
So
mm, mm, mm.
where I create the mount points with the help of Docker Compose, I can create the mount point, right?
Yeah. You can compose the Docker compose, or you can use the Docker volume or something like. So your instance having a 20 GB, you can mount it to the your logs will be mounted to the this one also. So we have a bounded mounted. So I will show you that thing. You will
Oh,
understand.
okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
sir, all containers maximum size will be 1 GB, yeah?
So all based on the application code, based on the
Oh,
application code. For example, OS, you are taking a OS softwares and applications, right?
yeah.
So I stopped the container. I will show you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
actually stopped the container. Else yeah. So for example, I will show you the code. So this code contains something like a lab 6A jar. So here we have a only 3 pages. I'm showing. So the code is something like a 3 pages. So if you're having something like 100 pages, 200 pages, definitely it will be changing the size, right?
Okay.
So
And
based
sir,
on that,
how to manage that resource limit, sir? That also I want to understand, like, because if you're running
mm,
multiple containers in same
mm,
machine,
mm,
so
mm,
resource limitation should be there, no? Uh,
yes.
so that also I need to understand that concept.
Yeah, for that purpose. So basically, Docker itself, there is no auto healing, auto scaling capability. So for that purpose, a Docker Swarm or a Kubernetes coming into the picture. So the Kubernetes is nothing but it's a container orchestration. If any container crashes, or if any containers dead, or if any container having a auto scaling, so that capability will be provided by the K8s Kubernetes.
So Docker don't have that capability, like auto scaling, not auto scaling, but manually can we able to extend the size of container?
Yes.
Okay. So that thing I need to understand, sir.
Yeah, we can run number of containers in the
Huh.
UCT instance, but so we cannot figure out if the container crashes or if the container stopped. So we cannot monitor the Docker containers if it is running or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that purpose, so we need to manage that containers. So who will manage that containers? So that either Docker Swarm or Kubernetes.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, I'll show
actual,
you.
sir, actually, okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, you can ask the question.
Sir,
Hmm.
okay, sir, let I'll ask. No problem.
No worries. You can ask. Yeah. So this is the Kubernetes architecture. Something like yeah. So who will maintain if it is dead or something like if you want to auto scale or if you want to ingress, everything will be taken care by the master node of the Kubernetes. Okay. Lakshmi or something. Who is that guy?
Yes.
Yeah, Lakshmi. Yeah. So go ahead, your question. What is your question? Lakshmi? Om, Lakshmi, Rudra. Do you have any questions?
No,
No, sir, nothing from my side.
you can continue.
Okay. Okay. Rudra,
No, sir.
you understood, right? What is the difference between physical virtualization and container?
Yes, sir.
There are many advantages. So one is something like that performance. So then the OS something like that licenses parting and something like we don't need that much resource to run a container. And so microservices. So you guys are all working in the real time, right?
Yes, sir.
Employees, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you are using microservices or something like your
Yes, sir.
application will be
Yes, sir.
right?
Actually, I'm using AWS and microservice architecture application, Java base.
Java based. Okay. How
So
many
we are not
containers?
using, yeah, we are not using containerization. We are using AWS EC2 only.
EC2, EC2. Okay, okay. You deployed your application in the EC2 instance,
Yes,
AWS EC2 instance.
yes, sir.
Okay. It's a monolithic only, right?
No, sir, microservice.
Okay. So something like microservice.
Yeah. So our architecture is three-tier architecture. So
Pretty.
yeah. So in
Hmm.
first level, we are using like R53 Route 53,
Not 50.
then ALB, and below ALB we have configured Nginx, and
Hmm.
Nginx we have configured a static web content like we used CloudFront, and
Hmm.
below that we have application server, sir,
Okay. Okay. Understood.
and below that MySQL. Yeah.
Okay. MySQL you are using, right? The
Yeah.
databases.
Yeah.
So
So
all are in
radical
the
here is
EC2
in Docker.
instances.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So same architecture for other microservices, sir. Also same.
Hmm. So what about Rudra and Lakshmi? You guys are also using microservice? Are they microservice or monolithic?
Sir, microservice. Actually, we are using Java with the help of Java and microservice Spring Boot. And
Hmm.
front end side, we are using the Nginx, and in back end application side, we are using the Tomcat. Okay,
Hmm.
and all this it's in on premises,
Hmm.
so there is no any
On
cloud.
premises only you are using.
Yeah, yeah, because
You're not using the cloud, right?
right.
Okay, okay. What about Lakshmi? Lakshmi there? Yep, guys. Understood, right? So what we are covering Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins finally. So Rudra, you joined today, right?
It's sir, can you show me the what are the contents you are covering in this program, like Docker,
Content
Kubernetes,
I
Kubernetes?
shared. The guys are not shared.
No, actually, I'm not asking
Let
that.
me, let me, let me. So we have a content. I shared to those guys. Yeah, so we will cover this something like Jenkins and Docker and Kubernetes. So how to achieve the continuous integration with Jenkins? So Jenkins server setup, Jenkins jobs, how to integrate Jenkins with Maven, Jenkins dashboard, plugins, and software running jobs, configure dashboard, configure system enables and global properties. So building a job, whole SCM, post build actions, and Jenkins plugins, master slave architecture, pipeline reduction. So multi-stage pipeline, Jenkins with Maven and Git integration, Jenkins with Sonar integration. So Jenkins with Nexus integration, Jenkins with Docker integration. So Jenkins with Kubernetes integration. So before that, that's the reason we started Docker and Kubernetes. If you know the Docker Kubernetes, so it will be very easy how to integrate with the Docker and Kubernetes. Right.
Okay, sir.
So Docker, what we are covering? We are covering what is Docker, life without Docker, life with Docker. What is a container? Installing the Docker on Linux. We discussed already these things. So run command, Docker run commands, working images, container lifecycle, Docker file, Docker network, Docker volume, Docker compose, Docker SAM, Spring Boot application with Docker. So Python application with Docker, MySQL with Docker. We'll show you these three real-time projects on Kubernetes. What is a Kubernetes? So Docker SAM versus Kubernetes, Kubernetes architecture, control plane, worker node, namespaces, pods, a pod lifecycle, services, cluster IP, node, port, load balancer, replication controller, replica set, daemon set, stateful, and the deployment strategies, recreate rolling update, and blue-green deployment model. So config map, secrets, and ingress controller, Helm charts, and Prometheus and Grafana will show you, and ELK also. Understood?
Okay.
Rudra, what we are covering here?
Yes, yes, yes. Sir, how many projects you have to cover in this?
Yeah, I already showed, right?
Uh,
So mostly these three and Kubernetes on another three and Jenkins three. 6 projects will cover.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So, what is the
Yeah.
duration for this course, sir?
1 month, 30 hours.
Okay, sir.
So 30 hours.
Sir, day one is not started, right? Out of 30 days?
Day one, 3 days completed, right? So we
Oh,
have to
that
install
also
the
included.
Docker.
Okay, okay.
They
I
will
thought,
give you the recordings.
okay,
Oh,
okay. Yeah, sure.
so in the in the demo, we're not showing the setup, right? The Docker setup and everything.
Sure, sir, no problem.
Yeah. So will you guys are know, right? My introduction.
Yes, sir.
So Rudra, you don't know, right? Lakshmi,
Yes,
Rudra,
yes,
something.
yes, yes, sir. No, no.
1 second, I will show you.
Okay.
Sir, Saturday, Sunday also class is there?
No, there is no class on Saturday, Sundays. So we have a weekend batches. So we are covering weekend batches, and then I need to spend some time with my family, right? So I am also
Okay,
a real-time employee. I'm a associate to DevOps engineer. I'm working.
okay, sure, sir, no
So I
problem.
am continuously taking the classes on morning 6 to 7, 7 to 8. So my work
Yeah,
starts at 8:30. So you also know, right? I'm working on a US company. So there might be US calls and up to five,
right.
right?
Yeah, I
So
see
I
your
started a
that
class.
GitOps also, sir. I think new batch or running batch, sir,
There is a new batch. New batch is will starts from Monday.
from
So if you
Monday.
want, you guys, yeah. So that is
Oh,
1 week only. You guys get clarity about the GitLab, GitHub, Bitbucket. So why they are using. So where it is using, what is a merge request, pull request, everything. Yes, you know simple things how we can use that Git,
yeah.
the CLI
So
part,
this is one
everything.
week batch, yeah?
Yeah, 1 week only.
Okay, okay.
So
9 to
6
10.
days or 7 days. Yeah, 9 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rudra, myself, I'm Hari Cheruku. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect with 12 plus years of industry experience. I'm a real-time employee and also trainer. I'm passionate about the trainings, guys. So how I started my trainings, so while came right after completion of my post graduation. So for the survival of mine, I used to do the home tuitions. So then I started to teaching. So in my college also in MCA, I teached C, C++ in my batch, MCA batch.
Okay, sir. Sir, in the Kubernetes, can you give me the little bit introduction and little bit more information about the Argo CD?
Yeah. So Argo CD is nothing but what is Argo CD? What is
Yeah, it's
CD?
like a CI/CD pipeline
Yeah. What is
where, yeah,
CD?
continuous deployment.
So Argo CD is using for deployment, continuous deployment.
Yeah, and
So
mostly, I
Jenkins
mean,
is used for CI/CD.
right,
GitLab also used for CI/CD.
right.
GitHub also there is a Git action, there is a CI/CD.
Yes, yes. But
Okay,
sir,
and
most of
Bitbucket
the,
also giving
yeah,
CI/CD solution.
most of the industry asking the
Mhm.
Kubernetes with Argo CD. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I'm,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, asking.
So yeah, I will show. I will tell you one thing here. So what is 51? Now we have less time, right? Okay, no worries. Actually, my architecture. Yeah. So my architecture is something like a GitLab. So GitLab used for the repository and GitLab CI also, CI/CD. Okay. So in the GitLab CI/CD, so we are using the AWX. What is that? Does anyone knows AWX?
Yes.
Ansible Control Tower.
Yes.
So
Yes.
here we are running the playbooks. Okay. So once you run the playbook, it will directly deploy to the RKE. Here we are using RKE. What is that? RKE. What is RKE? Does anyone knows? Rancher Kubernetes Engine. Okay. Rancher Kubernetes Engine. Okay. So our services are in this RKE. Okay. So here we are not using the Argo CD. Okay. So we are using the GitLab CI/CD and playbooks. Once a playbook, right? So here we are using the JFrog Artifactory. What is that?
JFrog Artifactory.
Yeah. So JFrog Artifactory. So when you run the playbook, right? So it will go to the Artifactory, then it will push it to the Rancher Kubernetes engine, whatever the containers. So this is my old process. So the new process is something like so we are using the GitLab is the repository, then Argo CD and EKS. What is that, guys?
EKS.
Yeah. EKS.
Elastic Kubernetes Service.
Argo CD. And so this is GitLab. Okay. So whenever you create the MR, so once you merge the MR through the Argo CD, it will directly deploy to the EKS. Just if it is merge the MR, Argo CD in the backend, Argo CD will deploy the application to the EKS.
Okay.
So our environment will be simplified. Guys, understood? So Om, Lakshmi, Rudra, understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, guys. So we'll continue from Monday. So Monday link will change, guys. Okay.
Sir, can you share me the demo link?
Yeah. So you can reach out to them. What is that? They did not send the demo link. Huh? You joined today, na?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can check with
Yeah, I can
Zoom,
check with.
Zoom.
I can
Yeah.
connect with them.
Yes, you can check with them. So they will give you the demo recording. Okay.
Okay, sir.
They will provide the demo, or else I will post it in the demo link, demo video. Yeah, you see. So that demo video course content. Okay. Yeah, guys, we'll continue from tomorrow. So Monday. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you.